Does your Twitch chat look like this? We need to fix that right now. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to talk to Twitch chat and get more followers, engage them, build relationships with your audience, and overall just have a better time streaming. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to drop a like on the video to help other streamers talk to their chat and find this video so they don't end up with a very dead graveyard of no chatters. The first problem that I see people running into is how they greet newcomers. Someone will pop in a chat, they'll say, "Hey," and the streamer will go,
"Hey, what's up, dude?"
Don't do that. That's one of the worst ways to set someone up to continue the conversation. So don't say, "Hey, what's up?" Instead, come up with a unique personal greeting that's going to make it easier for them to respond and actually answer your question. So what I like to do instead is if it's someone new, I always like to ask, how did they come up with their username? Especially if they have a unique username like Granny Butt Sniffer. Though you probably don't want to know how they got that one. But come up with a unique question that you can ask them that's not just "what's up," because you're going to say "what's up," they're going to say "nothing," or they're going to say "I'm good," and then that's the end of the conversation. It's not going to go anywhere from there. So I like to ask about their names, or if it's a returning viewer, I like to ask what they did today or what they had for lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever meal was last. Just something that's more personal that you can actually continue a conversation with. Because if you ask them "what's up," you're setting yourself up to fail. Number two, while we're still at the very beginning of this, while you just about started your stream, I actually like to do a couple jumping jacks or literally any kind of exercise to get my fat butt off my chair, get the heart racing so I have some energy, so I don't just start off the YouTube videos like this and we start with the tutorials, or we start our Twitch streams like this. If I talk like this with no energy, then it'd be quite boring, wouldn't you agree? So I like to do some jumping jacks or whatever just to get my heart going, so that way we can have a more entertaining and engaging stream. Though if this is your niche, then I guess just go with it. Number three, I ask a lot of questions to my chat. I don't like to say a lot of statements. I actually like to ask a lot of questions because it further engages them more and it gives them more input to be able to keep talking about whatever we're talking about, to keep chat moving, active, and flowing. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I have a dead chat and no one's talking, it makes it so other people don't want to be the only one talking. So it's kind of counterproductive when you want people to talk but no one's talking. But once you actually start to get the ball rolling, you get people talking, it's a lot easier for people to slide in and keep the conversation going. And I do that by asking a lot of questions. And I'll get into specific questions and the most engaging questions towards the end of this video, so make sure to watch all the way to the end. Number four, I like to actually split it up between half of what we're playing, so the game, and half of just random personal experiences, stories, current events, whatever. Because if you like to talk about only the game, you don't really actually get to build a connection with your audience. They don't really know who you are as a person, as a streamer. They're pretty much just there for the game, and there's no relationship being built, and that's just kind of going to be a stalemate at the end of the day. They're not going to return for more streams if you're not playing that game, so on and so forth. So if you guys didn't know, my name is Cody. I actually run this YouTube channel that's all about helping brand new streamers kickstart their streams and all that jazz. And I also stream on Twitch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We play horror games and other games that you guys want me to play. So if that sounds good to you, check out our Twitch channel, our Patreon, all that stuff in the description down below. But just a quick introduction like that, you guys know more about me instead of me just making this video on how to talk to Twitch chat, which I guess is now kind of meta. But I don't want to break the fourth wall anymore. This just got way too meta for me. But at the end of the day, I like to split it up 50% on the game on topics and 50% on other stuff. Because if I'm playing Overwatch or I'm playing a game like that, people already know what to expect, especially with multiplayer games. It's like, wow, you shoot, you die, you got killed, someone killed you. It gets stale really quick. Now, if I'm talking the other half on like personal stories, things I did today, you have to keep it open to people that aren't necessarily there for the game, but there for you as a person or want to get to know you. So that way you can keep the content fresh and keep the conversations fresh, and you can give an entry point for anybody that wants to talk to you or just be a part of your stream. Number five, I think I've pretty much lost count at this point. Making sure that you don't have any dead air. Dead air is one of the worst things to have, and I know this is super tough when you're first starting your stream, but if you follow all of these things that I talk about, it should make the transition a little bit easier, get some people in and keep the chat flowing. But when you run into dead air, it's one of the most awkward things ever because you don't want to break it, and if you don't want to break it and it's dead silence, no one in chat's going to want to break that dead silence. So it's kind of like a stalemate between the two. It's like an old Western shoot-off. So that's why in order to break dead air, you have to keep talking to yourself, even if no one's chatting in the chat. So literally just talk what your thoughts are, what you're thinking, anything to fill the dead air, or you could just tell jokes. I actually just heard a good joke from my buddy Kenji, so let me fill this dead air right now with a joke. Why did the bicycle fall over? Give you a second to think about that. Because it was too tired. Get it? Get it, guys? Because it has two tires, but it was a play on like too tired. Like exhausted. Please don't dislike the video. So while you're telling these stories or however you're filling this dead air, make sure to remember to add in entry points so people in chat can actually throw in their opinion, or if you ask a question that they can actually answer that question and you're not just going to straight up ignore it. So if I'm telling a story, be like, oh, has anybody in chat ever been to so-and-so? And then that will give the chat an entry point so they can actually talk in chat while you're going over your thoughts or your stories. Entry points are important. The next tip is something that I really didn't use at first, but now I use it because it helps so much, and that's to create a little cheat sheet of talking points, especially before you start the stream. So that way, if you do have any dead air, you have something to reference. And I like to fill this up with either different current events that happened that day, this week, basically interesting things that I can relate to off this paper in case my brain just goes completely blank, which it happens to do a lot. I should actually really get that checked out. But the cheat sheet is what saves my butt every time I can't think of anything to talk about, and it's always really nice to have. So make a cheat sheet before your next stream of different current events or literally anything to save your butt when you run into this problem. Another good method is to actually have pointless debates. And what I mean by this is asking a question like, is a hot dog a sandwich? Like, I honestly don't care, but it gets chat heated up. They will literally go nuts and have this debate, but it doesn't matter because it's pointless. Nobody really cares. People will get so passionate about it. Also, if you ask, does pineapple belong on pizza? Those are two really good fire starters if you really want to spark a debate in your chat. Now, I know talking can kind of dry out your throat, which is why I always make sure to have some water here. If you don't really want to talk or you can't really think of anything else, I always like to have a prop on hand. So I got my ocarina right here, and I can do really bad recorder covers, and I can just kind of play my little ocarina if I really don't want to talk anymore. So let me serenade you to one of my favorite songs. First person to guess what song that was in the comments wins. One key takeaway for this is that it gets easier the more you've done it. So obviously it's going to be pretty awkward and uncomfortable the first time that you're going to do this. It grows on you after a while, so you got to stick with it. You got to keep practicing. You got to go through those awkward hoops in order to eventually get to the stage where you just know what to say, fill all the dead silence, and it just kind of comes secondhand to you. I will say when you're first starting out streaming, you're not going to have that many people in chat, but this is a curse and also a blessing. We'll look at the blessing side because it's a lot easier to build relationships when you only have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in your chat, because that way you can remember so many more things about them and it becomes a closer personal experience for you. And that way you can actually continue conversations you've had before, which a lot of big streamers don't have the opportunity to because they deal with hundreds of different viewers throughout their streams. It's really, really hard to remember anything. So the flip side of the coin is that if you do have a lot of viewers, then I like to remember at least one key thing from each viewer, whether that's a thing with their name, and I just try and tie it into something they told me. But my challenge for you is to remember at least one personal thing from the chatter that they have told you that you can relate to them next time you see them, and that will make them very happy and will ultimately start that friendship that you kind of want to have on Twitch. It makes everybody feel appreciated and less like a number. If this video helped you out, make sure to drop a like on the video. If you want to help support me, Patreon, course, streaming equipment, all in the description down below. Check them out. Otherwise, comment Ocarina, please, if you made it all the way to the end like a true homie, and I'll see you in the next one.